Friday night. Welcome. Just waiting for people to arrive. It's a hot, humid, sweaty one here in London. It really is. Yeah, there we go. So say hello when you arrive. Hello, Lolly. Welcome. Hello, Caroline. Hope you're all right, my darling. Welcome. What's the weather like where you are? Is it hot and humid and sultry like it is here in London? Yeah, I've got the sun blocked out at the moment because it's beating down. Hi, Diana. Oh, don't start off with the crown thing this week. There is now a top fans leaderboard. We didn't ask for it. It has been imposed upon us, and people were going crazy for it the other week, not last week, the week before. So,
but it was really distracting.
But it actually was really distracting for me, to be honest. So yes, hi Trandans, hi Yeti, Sue. Thank you for that, Sue, because I don't want to be calling you Yeti all the time. It sounds rather rude. Hello there, Sarah. Hi there, Nettie. Hi, Nancy New. Hi, Ronnie. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Tammy Lynn. Hello, Wildflower Stories. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Karen. Welcome. Thanks for coming. Hi, Tony. Hi, Anna. Hi, Linda. Oh, Sarah, you saw a sparrowhawk in the garden. Wow. Wow. When we were at Corfe Castle, there's a peregrine nesting on the top of that castle that we saw. That was quite fascinating. Hello there, Anne. Hi there, Angela. Hi, Vanessa. Hi, Donna. Hi, MJ. Hi, Susie. Thanks for joining me this evening, this hot, sultry evening. Yeah, I think we're going to have storms. Yeah. Goodness me. That sounds crazy, Sue. So, Angela, thank you for asking. The engineer came to have a look at the washing machine today. And yes, we don't have a functioning washing machine because they don't carry the motor. It's the motor. After 4 months, it was purchased in March. After 4 months, the motor is not working properly. So we have no washing machine. Luckily, we do have a friend just down the road who's normally very good at letting us do a wash. But I said to Paul, be frugal with your clothes, Paul, be frugal.
I'm being frugal.
I am prepared.
Smelling fruity.
Oh, no, you're not. Don't be ridiculous, Paul. We've got deodorant that works. That's all you need these days, a 48-hour deodorant. Really? Okay. Let me just go back. So that's the washing machine situation, Angela. Good evening, Jay McHugh. You're just watching the layer bake. It's lovely, the layer bake, I tell you.
Oh,
yeah, it's divine. Tammy Lynn, thank you. We had a lovely time hanging out with Vivi down in Swanage, or Swanage, as I like to call it. Good evening, Jane. So that's the layer bake one. Try it. You're going to love it. It's like a little courgette moussaka. You know, Angela, the best one we've had so far was the Samsung, but that the seal disintegrated on that. It was going to cost just as much to buy a new washing machine as to get it repaired. So the Samsung lasted the longest. We had a hot point many years ago that was absolute crapola. It really was. It's feeling very humid here as well, Rebecca, but it's telling me the humidity is only 54%. It feels worse than that. I know, Lolly, 4 months, and I've had a look at the complaints about Becco's customer service, and apparently it's everybody hates it. It's appalling, their customer service. And frankly, I agree. But more in that on Sunday chat, more of that.
Sunday chat.
Oh, don't start me off, Paul. I can't even speak properly. I really can't speak. Hello, Leslie. Hello, Anne. It is a new machine. It is a new machine, Ronnie.
And we got a new kettle.
Oh, we do have a new kettle as well. Yeah. But you know what? Doing the washing is something I really enjoy. I like being on top of my washing. I hate having a full washing basket. I do a couple of loads a week, maybe 3 sometimes if I'm doing my cleaning cloths. But not having a machine functioning is so annoying. But I am prepared to do some hand washing. I've said to Paul I'll do his vests. Hello, Geraldine. Well, look, it's under warranty, so, parts and labour are covered, as long as you've not done anything to cause the problem. No, I haven't. I've not been abusing my washing machine. How does one do that? When's the engineer coming back, Susie? Well, I'm waiting to hear from them. Waiting. Yes. Well, Donna, they won't replace the machine until they have no other choice. I've been through that before with a previous machine. And believe you me, they don't like it. They don't like doing that, spending their money on replacing a machine. But, I'm not always easy to deal with. I was very, very clear with the engineer, who actually was lovely. He was a sweet young guy, really lovely, really helpful. Hi, Jeanette. Rebecca, the courgette bake is divine. Thank you, Sue. No, they're not made to last, Tony, but I believe there are supposed to be new laws that mean everything should be repairable. I tell you. Yeah, Tammy Lynn, these things are sent to try us. We both find things like that really stressful. Having engineers in the house, I don't like it, but when they're polite and very effective and they listen to you and don't treat you like a moron, I like that. It makes you feel better, Oh, Shaz, Dayton walnut with half wholemeal. Yeah. Oh, divine. Don't.
Loaf.
Yeah, because Shaz got the bread maker.
Oh, yes. Of course.
Yeah. Paul, hi. First time on a live. Well, welcome. Welcome. It's just me sitting here, stream of consciousness, talking to the camera, trying to maintain good lighting. It's seems to be all over the place this evening. And you've got a Hoover washing machine. Well, we've never had a Hoover, but we had a hot point and it was absolutely terrible. It was terrible. You're terrible, Muriel. Well, Angela, if I could afford to buy a Bosch, I would buy a Bosch because our friends had a Bosch for years and years and had very few problems. I have an LG now. Okay.
I mean, several of them make different brands,
Well,
don't they?
Beko is now part of Hotpoint because one of the numerous emails I received about the repairs, your repairs happening, make sure everything's safe for the engineer, that there are no cupboards in the way. Oh, I'll just demolish my kitchen and make it safe for the engineer. Honestly, literally, the things you have to sort of check this, check that. Are you sure that it's draining properly? Yes, I'm bloody sure it's draining properly. Are you sure you've not interrupted the water supply? No, I've not accidentally turned off the water. They treat you like a moron, I said to the guy, look, I'm a washing machine watcher, What's happening with the lighting tonight? It's all over the place. I seem to be glowing radioactive now. Hello there,
She's got a
Lynn.
mild tan.
Well, I don't know. It's just crazy. Caroline, yes, hand washing. Well, my granny, let's go back down memory lane. My granny had a mangle that she used to put the clothes through. We used to help her. And occasionally get your finger stuck. Did I say hi to you, Lynn? Hi, Lynn. Well, I always buy from AO.com and I've actually found their service to be really good. But of course, you're never guaranteed that your machine's going to last very long. That's the thing. That sounds fun, Sarah. Rebecca, I've never had a Bush washing machine. I think we've had Hotpoint. I had an Indesit many years ago that I gave to a friend and it carried on working for quite some time. Samsung and Beko. I think my mum had a Hoover many, many years ago. The sound is the same as normal, Jeanette. It's fully up, so it might be your end. Okay. Caroline, you're waiting for new flooring for a wet floor shower. They're taking their time. Well, I have experience with taking phone calls around those kind of inquiries in my previous job. Takes forever. Thank you, Tammy Lynn. I'm glad that I've got on top of that gardening now. Really glad. Angela, are we going to move to Swanage? I have no idea where we're going to move. Swanage is actually quite expensive. So I don't know. I don't know. We're not going to start that journey until next year. So I don't, I believe in being in the moment. So for example, I wouldn't look at properties now. There's no point. Because when you do that, you start living in the future. And we believe in being in the here and now. So that means we only deal with things when they need to be dealt with. Because otherwise you're either ruminating about something that hasn't happened yet, or you're reflecting on the past too much. And that's not good for mental health. No, Tony, I don't think they are reliable. But we did have a good run with the Samsung, I have to say. That was 8 years, I think, 7 or 8 years. Yeah, Ronnie, I've heard this about Bosch. We've got a Bosch dishwasher, but when I was looking to buy the machine, I had a tight budget because I just left work. And all the Bosch ones that I looked at were 400-500 quid. If I'd have got one for maybe 300 and something, then I'd have gone for it. But unfortunately, no, I couldn't. Just catching up. Jeanette, you've got two 12-kilogram washing machines in the building. Is that like a shared sort of laundry area? Angela, your grandma had a mangle. Yeah, my granny had, she didn't have a machine, I don't think. Did she have, I don't know what she had. I'm trying to remember. It was a very long time ago. But I know that she had to put things through the mangle, and she still had like a wash day, you know? But then she got a machine eventually, and of course it revolutionized wash day. Hello there, Sally. No, Yulka. No, perfectly balanced, dead level. I always check it. I've had a lot of machines. I make sure that the load is balanced. I make sure the machine is balanced. Nothing like that. No, I wouldn't run a machine if it wasn't balanced. Sorry, just catching up. No, it's the motor, like Paul said, it's the motor that's gone. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm quite good at ringing, Nettie. What did I wash the other day? I had to wash the tea towels and my cleaning cloths, which I do generally once every couple of weeks. And the machine would wash, but it wouldn't spin. So I had to wring them out by hand, which was fine with the bucket, you know. I'm not afraid of a bit of hard work. Error codes. Yeah, you see, I didn't get an error code, Vanessa. And the engineer said to me, did you get an error code? And I said, no, nothing at all. You know, he said it's very strange. So he tested it and, you know, said it's either this or that. So yeah, there we are. Well, I'm afraid I can't do anything about the sound issues. If there are sound issues, can't help it. Can't adjust anything on this tablet. So, you know, we're working with ancient equipment here. Okay. Yeah. Hoover make lots of different appliances, certainly. Yeah.
But it just became the verb, isn't it? Because
Yeah, it has become a verb to hoover. Yeah. Sorry, just catching up with the comments. Yes, Jeanette, things are fine. I've kind of really settled into a routine now, mainly video making, because, you know, a couple of people have said, oh, it must be great now you don't work. Well, I do work. I'm a content creator, but it just means that my work is harder in a way because I'm doing a lot of hours content creation for a fraction of the money that I earned when I was working as a receptionist. So, you know, it's a pittance of a wage. That's the thing. So we have to be very careful. There is no spending allowed now. The only things that we can spend on are things that we do actually need, you know. So there's no frivolous spending at all. I'm not retired. You know, I'd like to call myself semi-retired, but I'm not earning a pension. I'm not drawing a pension. I'm not drawing any benefits. Somebody actually made a really rude comment the other day and they have now been deleted. But basically, it went along the lines of, and this was a comment left on I think on Facebook in response to Paul's blog that he did, and it basically said, "Oh, you're all living off other people now," and blah blah blah. We're not living off anything other than what we earn. You know, I don't draw any benefits. I'm not entitled to benefits. You're not entitled to benefits in the UK unless you are seeking employment or you are disabled or incapacitated. Otherwise, you're not entitled to anything because Paul earns a wage. I earn a very small wage. And, I just can't believe people think that we live off the state. We don't. We do not draw any benefits. We're not entitled to it. So, yeah. Yeah, people like that get blocked, deleted straight away. No, it was on YouTube, actually. It was here on YouTube in response to the post that Paul did about the Swanage blog. That's right. And to be accused of that, is, yeah, it's not very nice at all. I think what happens is people looking in from outside see this lifestyle as probably quite desirable. In many ways, it's not desirable. When I was working, at least I was guaranteed a wage, monthly wage. We knew where we were. Bills could be paid, because we've never defaulted on bills, ever. We've never defaulted on our mortgage. We pay everything. We deal with everything, as good normal contributors to society do. The difference now is that I earn a fraction of what I used to earn. Paul pays my tax on whatever I earn, if I owe any tax, because I'm well below the limit of being a taxpayer. But, let's not forget, I've paid my tax since I was 16, since I started work. So, yeah, I just think people sometimes don't see it, They just see this image of us just floating through life, making a few videos, just doing the gardening when we want to, doing the, no, it's not like that. Lindsay, as I said to somebody earlier, I don't know, yeah, it'd be lovely. It would be lovely. It'd be lovely to have Vivi around the corner. It would be lovely to be in a seaside town. But we don't know. We have no idea. It would depend on finding the right property. Prices are quite expensive down there. We're doing everything we can now. Every bit of spare cash that we have goes to try and pay off the mortgage. So we're living on next to nothing, which is why we try to cook from scratch. We try to use what we've got in stock. Yeah, so we're trying to reduce our mortgage as much as possible. So when the time comes, as much of that profit that we make from this property will go towards buying a new property and being mortgage free, and hopefully having some substantial savings in the bank, so we don't have to go out to work, But as it stands at the moment, we're massively in debt with our mortgage and have to pay the bills, So that's the way it goes. Well, Nettie, we're very, very fortunate, and I said this the other day to Paul, but we don't tend to get trolled. The person that made that comment has actually made some really nice comments in the past on other videos, because we see when we click on the person the contributions that they have made. So it was a bit sort of shocking actually for them to come out with that comment, but I suspect that they are actually one of Vivi's trolls as well. So she gets a lot worse than we do. Has had to deal with a lot worse. Yeah. And you know, Jeanette, we are not the kind of people who are frivolous with our spending. We've had times in the past where we've had disposable income and, you know, bought things, luxury items, let's call them. But for quite some time now, we've been pretty frugal. Yeah, we have to be. And that's okay.
Careful.
Yeah, very careful. And that's okay. We enjoy that. You know, we enjoy, for example, living off leftovers, seeing how much we can stretch a meal out. Because, you know, we're the kind of people, we don't mind eating the same thing over and over again, you know?
Especially if it's that courgette layer bake.
Oh, you know what? I could live off that courgette layer bake. I really could. And actually, that was a pretty cheap meal. The only, because I did a bit of cheating with that bake, the only expensive ingredient was the pasta sauce that was in the cupboard that we've had for quite some time, because we buy those, or Paul buys them when they're on offer.
And they were three for £3.
So they were £1 each.
Instead of £2.25 each.
Instead of £2.25 each. So, you know, that is a bargain. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that you feel safe. You can't grow courgettes. Oh, blimey. They're growing well for us this year, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Nettie. Well, Leslie, there is that as well. I mean, you know, if you can cut corners and do a bit of cheating, then that's great. We have simple meals as well. Sometimes we can't be bothered to cook. So a simple meal for us is some pasta with some pesto. In fact, tonight we're having pasta with the leftover sun-dried tomato pesto, I guess you can call it pesto, that I made a few weeks ago and put in the freezer. It is like a lasagna. It's a bit like a little moussaka made with courgettes. So that's really what it is. But you see, I don't mind cooking with a few different elements, because we're used to doing a little bit of complicated cookery. When you're filming, it's a little bit different, because actually behind the camera, there's usually quite a bit of chaos going on. Because I sort of chuck everything into the sink and on the worktop behind the camera, just for ease, really. And then, of course, the clear up is, you know, everything into the dishwasher generally, or a lot of washing up. And I do that because I want to sort of keep the flow. I've got something on the boil, I've got something in the pan. I can't be spending time always clearing up as I go, unless there's something that can sort of sit for a while, you know? Oh yeah, pasta and pesto, one of our favourite things, absolutely, especially if it's homemade pesto, even better. Caroline, you've had some vegan sausages. Do you remember what the make was? Yeah, lasaka, musanya. Very clever. Can we do a pumpkin curry? Have we done a pumpkin curry?
I don't know. Vivi has, hasn't she?
I'm not sure. We'll certainly look into it. Thank you for the idea. It's quite easy to make. I'm just trying to think. Trying to think mentally back into our playlists. Have a look through the playlist, see if there's anything in there. Linda McCartney's sausages, lovely. Hi, Nancy. Yeah. Courgettes do take some time to brown, but I don't tend to fry courgettes if I'm wanting to make something like a bake. It's the same with the aubergines. When I'm doing a moussaka, what I used to do was fry them in olive oil until they're brown, which takes forever because aubergines are like sponges, they soak the oil up. So I thought, how can I do this in an easier way? It might take some more, more time. So I decided to try baking the aubergines in the oven. Again, in seasoned flour until golden and crisp. That works even better because you're using a fraction of the amount of oil. So I thought you must be able to do that with courgettes. So that's what I did. And actually, they looked really delicious. And I tried a little bit as I was doing the video and they were gorgeous. So that's the way forward. I'm going to try doing courgette crisps at some point.
I just googled Richard and Paul curry.
Yeah.
And it says Richard and Paul are names associated with different individuals, including a YouTube cooking duo.
Oh, we've been generated by Google AI.
Richard and Paul are names of YouTube cooking channel focused on recipes like green tomato, potato and pea curry.
Oh, there you go. We're famous. We're on the Google. Your dad likes the Richmond vegan sausages. I think we've tried those ones, Tony.
Yeah.
Did we like them?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. I think there are some vegan sausages that really benefit from overcooking, so you get them kind of nice and caramelized. Courgette curry. I'm not sure how that would work because the courgettes, in my experience, when you're cooking them in a sauce, they tend to fall apart. But it might be nice to add them as a grated ingredient to thicken a curry sauce. That's an idea. Oh, lovely, Linda. You made it today. Was that the patties? I really enjoyed them. Okay, Leslie, yeah. I try not to do too much frying in too much oil these days. It tends to be quite minimal. Excellent, Linda. That's good. Could we make a tofu of Paul's beans from the plots? We probably could, but that's quite a lot of work for not much return. I think that's how you've got to look at it with tofu. It's probably more economical in terms of production and time to just buy tofu. Yeah. A quietly frugal life. Good afternoon. Oh, don't mention okra, Nettie. Can't stand okra. Ugh.
Ladies' fingers.
Oh, ladies' dead fingers. Ugh. Dead lady fingers. No, I don't think so. Oh, you did them in a bake, Linda. Okay, lovely. Just catching up with the comments. Hi, Lindsay. Sorry, just checking I've got everything. Don't always see all of the comments. Yeah, I think with with courgettes, you have to either quickly cook them if they're going to stay intact, like the ones I did in the oven, which was a few recipes ago, where I fast roasted them on very high and then finished them off under the grill to really char them. They were fantastic, really, really good. So yeah, there we go. We're 35 minutes in. Not going to be too lengthy tonight because frankly, I'm feeling quite hungry. I don't know about you, Paul. What did we have for lunch? We had wraps with Paul's creamy beans.
Butter
They sound
bean mash.
they sound really weird, but it's butter beans mixed with, what do you mix them with? Mayonnaise,
Mustard,
and some yeast flakes.
yeast flakes, and red onion,
And
sometimes celery,
sometimes radish.
yeah, today radish.
I found it a little pecan. I think you put too much mustard in there today, Paul, actually. But
Could
we
you
have them in
on?
I couldn't go on. Mixed with salad, and yeah, it was quite tasty, actually. Jade, I don't think we've ever made tofu. I think, yeah, I just think it's easier to buy it, frankly.
The thing is, it's such a pure thing to buy that, yeah, it's cost effective.
Yeah, I think it's like making cheese, making yogurt. We used to make yogurt, but I don't know, some things are a little bit of a faff. But what you've also got to bear in mind that our kitchen's quite small. And to have all the sort of bits and pieces of equipment that are necessary to make certain things, you know, we just don't have the storage space for all of it. We've got a yogurt maker somewhere, haven't we?
Yeah.
And a yogurt strainer.
And you can make yogurt in the Instant Pot. You
can. So, you know, yeah, I think sometimes, yeah, it's a step too far. Hi, Lucy. Jeanette, have any trolls tried to get us to break up? No, I don't think so. Yeah, I had one person once say, they watched Sunday Chat and saw us bantering, said, your relationship's only going to last 5 minutes. And I was like, well, actually, it's lasted 33 years. So we're pretty good so far. But I think that's the thing, you know, about relationships. People have this idea that, you know, relationships should be plain sailing all the time. Well, they're not. You've got to try and work at a relationship. And I think the key to a good relationship is to have disagreements and be able to get over them quickly. You know, don't hold grudges. It's not worth it. Life is too short. Did I say hello to you, Lucy? Hello. Well, you know, our kitchen is pretty much a galley kitchen. It only looks bigger because I use a wide angle lens. But we've got stuff around the house, you know. We've got plates in one cupboard. We've got tins in another cupboard. We've got dry goods in another cupboard. We've got all bran in the wardrobe. Pasta under the bed. Seriously. Because when we had our kitchen designed, I did not want wall-to-wall cupboards. I wanted space, you know, so we've only got what we use on a daily basis in those kitchen cupboards. Bye. Take care. Well, we had our kitchen made. So we'd looked at lots of, when we moved in here, it was wall-to-wall white plastic cupboards Got nothing against white plastic cupboards, but it's not our style. But we had to wait a few years before we could really afford to have a new kitchen. And we wanted one sort of making to our specifications. So, for example, we didn't want any space between the top of the cupboard and the ceiling. So we wanted them full height because that gives the effect of the ceiling looking taller, looking higher. We wanted them mainly making out of wood. So we had a mixture of MDF and oak veneer and solid oak. We wanted oak worktops, botcher's block, and we wanted a Belfast sink and space for a freezer and a fridge. No other appliances in the kitchen. So we had it designed with gaps between the cupboards so it gives a feeling of space because it's only a small space. And the other thing we wanted was a terracotta floor. So we had it made by a company, a carpentry workshop down near Southampton that we visited for the day, and loved the look of their European oak. And we specifically asked them for the offcuts, the bits that had knots and imperfections, and got them to make it out of those bits. So yeah, so it was cheaper.
And it was cheaper than getting a Wix one.
It was cheaper than having it done by the local DIY store Wix, which was quoting us 16,000 for a plastic kitchen, a fake wood kitchen, you know. Yeah. Oh, bless Sarah. 33 years ago, you were at school. Oh, sweet. Yeah, Elaine, you know what? Buying Greek yogurt from Lidl is within our budget. And that's what we tend to do. Yeah. Just catching up. Catching up. Sorry, guys. Never go to sleep angry. Absolutely. Hi, Helen. Just checking. Thank you, Sally. MJ, the terracotta floor is really nice. It's very rustic, very uneven. I think the tiles, the cheapest tiles we could get were, I think they're called Mexican antique terracotta. I don't know what they were called, but they've even got one of them's got little footprints in from a cat or some kind of small animal.
Some with birds.
That we kept in, we wanted them using. And it looks like it's been there for 200 years, and that was the effect that we wanted. Yeah. Ah, yes, Lucy, that's a good point. But Paul also has trouble reaching the top shelves as well. How do we clean? With good old detergent and water. That was it. We have made pasta in the past, but again, we had a pasta machine. That was a waste of time, frankly. We used it a few times and it was super fun. Paul's mum and dad bought it for us, but it has to clamp to a kitchen worktop and things like that. Not very practical, difficult to clean. Again, one of those things that we gave away when we gave away all of our stuff a couple of years ago, on Free Cycle and Trash Nothing when we were selling the house, which obviously didn't happen, but we gave it away and I would never buy another one. No, too much of a faff. And you will find that I think most Italians buy dried pasta, you know. No, we haven't tried that one, Angela. Hello there, Andy. Welcome. We've got 96 people watching at the moment. Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's 45 minutes in. I'm going to take a glug of water from my big glass. So we're due this weekend to have storms. We've got a thunderstorm, 2 thunderstorm warnings in place, a yellow one for tonight and an amber one for tomorrow. So hopefully I will at some point be hanging out of the window filming thunderstorms. I do hope. Leslie, TikTok was an experiment. I said I was going to add things to TikTok and just leave them there and see what happened. So to be honest, I don't think we do things that are TikTok friendly, particularly. I've given up on shorts for the moment as well because they don't earn any money. They earn, literally, you can have 2,000 views on a short and 19 pence. Instagram also, I'm sort of stepping back from a little bit because, again, you know, we've never got any hope of earning any money on Instagram at all. You know, it's simply a promotional tool. The only thing I'm interested really at the moment is earning money on YouTube because we need to earn money to live, literally. Yeah, I'm looking forward to storms. I do hope we get a good one. The only thing I'm not looking forward to is apparently we're going to get torrential rain all day, which could, of course, cause problems for people. Yeah. Well, I gave up on shorts, wearing shorts, Sally, many years ago. The only time I've got my legs out was in Swanage, and that was just my shins and feet. And of course, what happened is they got burned virtually immediately, which is why I don't go in the sun. I burn terribly badly, and I can ill afford to do that because I don't want to go from 39 to 59 in just one afternoon. Yeah.
It's my birthday next week.
Oh, it's your birthday, Paul.
I'm going to be 59.
You're going to be 59. Well, you know, don't worry about it. You look 69 anyway. Because you're very sun damaged now, Paul. No, I never get my legs out. They will forever remain white, almost blue. And, you know, it's not as though I've got bad legs. I've got quite good legs.
Got Bruce Almighty legs.
For a 6'4" person, I've got quite good legs. So I'm not embarrassed or ashamed of my legs. It's just I don't really do shorts. I do 3/4 length trousers, and I've got some cut off denims that are sort of cut off at the knee. I don't mind wearing those occasionally. I'm no longer particularly vain in terms of having a tan. Any tan that I get is one that is accrued naturally over time during the summer. I sort of end up at the end of the season with a slight hint of caramel. And that's it. You know, I'm not somebody that needs to get a tan for vanity's sake. Unlike me in the 80s when, you know, I desperately wanted to have a tan because it seemed all my friends just needed to look at the sun and became tanned. I didn't. As I say, I go from pale blue to white, then to pink, to a pale caramel, and then it washes off in a week. Yeah. So I've given up all of that malarkey now. I've given up sunbathing. I went to the beach in an overshirt, a t-shirt, an overshirt, jeans, and a hat, literally.
You were too warm.
And I was too warm and got burnt. Anyway, all of this started to burn as well, even wearing a hat. I know, ridiculous. So yeah, I'm hoping for storms this weekend. I can see that the clouds are starting to bubble up, and they're big clouds. So they're the type of clouds that generate storms. So I do hope that we get a storm, a real banger. Yes, please. I love them. I absolutely love the elements. I really do. Am I getting all of the comments? I think I'm missing out on all of the comments. Even with sunscreen on, I burn. I'm not joking. I have great feet. Well, they're okay. They're okay. Just catching up. Sue, you're 70 this year. Congratulations. Lucy, storms are already popping up on the radar. I hope so. Just checking the comments. Sorry, people. Yeah. Congratulations, Paul. Happy birthday. Paul lives in shorts. Paul only has to look at the sun and he turns brown. Same with Vivi. They're both soaking up the sun going, oh, it's lovely, it's lovely. I'm sort of under a hat going, oh, it's too hot. I don't like beaches. I'm not going in the sea. But I've always been like that. I've never liked... Look, let's get real. I am not body confident. I've never been body confident. There's only been one time in my life when I was working out, doing aerobics on a regular basis, that I was slim and toned. One time in my life, maybe two. But I felt reasonably confident to take my clothes off. My mum always had a go at me. Get your clothes off. Don't sit on the beach with your coat on. Get your clothes off, get some sun to your body. But I never felt confident. And, always felt embarrassed. Always. Never enjoyed that at all. So it's not something that's new. I'm just not confident taking my clothes off in front of people. And, I'm being around a beach or a pool is not a natural environment for me. It's not something I feel comfortable with, really, Thank you, Angela. We'll just have something nice to eat for your birthday, won't we, Paul? I'll probably make dinner for him.
And film it.
And film it, yeah.
And I'll have to sit in front of the camera.
Yeah, of course. We've got to make money, Paul. We have to live. No, Julie, I'm the same. I can slather on the sunscreen, still get burnt, Do we ever get hail? Sue, yes, we do. But we don't tend to get the golf ball sized hail. But there's time. Oh no, jellyfish, no thank you. I always wear a hat when I go out walking in the sun. I try to allow a little bit of exposure because of vitamin D production, which we all need to do. But I tend to allow it to happen in the garden when I'm pottering around, which is mainly the shady areas. So, just a little bit of exposure. Yeah, Diana, I'm very self-conscious. I'm you know, as I get older, of course, and don't do enough exercise, which I don't, I'm getting more flabby and, wobbly bits and all of that. And yeah, I guess if I was an Adonis with, beautiful musculature, then I wouldn't mind, but I'm not. So, yeah. No, Leslie, I don't think it's about other people looking. Um, I think it's about how you feel. And I feel self-conscious, so that's all that matters, you know. But I get it. I get it. And, I think if I were to go in water, I would probably need one of those sort of men's swimming cozies, Well, looks can be deceiving. That's the thing, But it's about how you feel. I don't think it's about how others see you. I think it's about how you feel inside, you know? Um, yeah. Sorry, I think I've missed a couple of Karen, sorry to hear that. Sorry. Oh, Julie, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, it's not good. We've got to be careful. I did a lot of sunbeds. Well, not a lot of sunbeds, but I did quite a few when I was in my 20s because I was desperate to have a tan. Um, yeah, 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 Julie. I just don't do, I mean, I don't really enjoy sea anyway. I find it, I don't know, I just have a thing about the sea. I don't mind paddling, Um, if I'm going to go in water, I prefer a pool, a private pool. When we went to our friends in the south of France, she's got a pool at her house. And yeah, we spent some time in the pool. It was good. Paul is a double Leo, yeah. Paul's very stocky, total opposite to me. Ah, you're a Leo as well. Am I going to make a birthday cake for Paul, Angela? Good question. I've actually been looking at, funnily enough, courgette cakes. Yeah, I'm going to try and do honey and courgette cake because I don't want to use refined sugar. So I want to try and make honey and courgette cake. I think it's possible to do. It may be very similar to the brick that I did not so long ago. Um, you're a scuba diver. Yeah, yeah, no, I couldn't do that. I find the sea very daunting. Yeah, I can swim. I'm relatively good swimmer. So yeah, yeah, look out for courgette cake. I'm doing a little bit of research into quantities and methods. I don't think I've ever made a courgette cake. I've made a carrot cake many years ago, and that was delicious. I'm looking at flavors that don't need loads of sugar, you know? Oh yeah, if I'm gonna be doing a cake and a new recipe, I'll be filming it. I'm trying to film everything at the moment, literally. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, we have to make content. We have to keep our audience engaged. We have to keep you watching because That's what we do now. That's what I do. Beetroot, yes. Yeah, deep water is no, it gives me the jitters. It really does. Um, Large boats and ships, deep water, metal in water, structures in water. No, it makes me feel ill. Yeah. So we're an hour in. We're going to start winding up now. I don't know, Jade, maybe, but it wasn't always the case. You know, when I was a child, no problem at all. No problem with water. Something happened at some point, I can't quite pin it down, that made me think. I've always had to think about big boats, the front of ships, I can't bear. I would never go on a cruise. No, I'll just about do the ferry to Guernsey, and I'm quite happy with that. But yeah, I don't know, Jade. Maybe I've thought about that. Things I will not watch Titanic. I've never seen Titanic. I don't want to watch it. I'm not interested. I know what happens in the end. The ship sinks. Hello, shock horror. I hate anything to do with, I just can't do it. No. Docks. Ugh, no. No, never seen Titanic. No. I just see cruises as places you can't get away from people, and if somebody gets ill, everybody's going to get ill. That's the way I see it. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to say goodbye now and say a big thank you to all of you, because you have been great, absolutely great. And I really feel we've built up this really good community here. And I'm so grateful to all of you for watching, because it means a lot. Not only in terms of earning money, which of course I have to do, but in terms of the community, you know, and the supportive comments that you all make on our posts. It really means a lot, you know. So Poseidon Adventure, no, that's a horror film as far as I'm concerned. It really is. Yeah, so it means a lot. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Enjoy it. I am so hungry, Paul. Get in that kitchen and start cooking.
It won't take long.
I know. I'm going to have some tortilla chips beforehand anyway.
No.
Yes, I am. I need a hors d'oeuvre.
You could have a courgette.
No. I hope you've enjoyed it. It is what it is. It's a stream of consciousness video, you know, the live show. I just talk about whatever pops into my head. Yeah, have a good weekend. Stay safe, because I think we are going to have some storms. Yeah, stay safe. And if we do have mega storms here, I'm going to be getting that have some fruit, Leslie. Fruit? No. Fruit's for afterwards. If at all. Take care of yourselves. I love you all very much. I really do. You're all lovely and fun. Oh, Angela, don't tempt me.
You went a bit Yoda then.
Don't tempt me not. Tempt me not. Don't start me off on another thread. We're saying goodbye. Yeah. We will see you, of course, on Sunday morning, early, probably, for Sunday chat, because it should be out.
Sunday chat.
It should be out at the usual time. Bananas, tits and bums. And yeah. And I'll see you, of course. Paul will see you on Monday for a week at the plot. and then you'll see me for the vlog. It's not going to be as exciting this week, my vlog. It's going to be bog standard. I'm at home. Don't worry, Sally, I will do if I can. And that means if there's torrential rain hitting the windows, I won't be able to film because I normally hang out the window to film. Okay. Toodle pip, au revoir. I'm saying goodbye. Take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. Don't get wet. Pray for some good rain that will benefit the gardens. Yeah. There will be more cookery next week, most definitely, hopefully in the form of a courgette cake and maybe courgette crisps. Let's see how we get on. Bye for now, and thank you most sincerely from the bottom of my bottom. Oh, check your crowns now. Check your crowns now, people. Top fans. Who was the top contributor? Tony was the top contributor today, the #1 fan. Diana was #2, Paul #3, then Caroline, then Angela, then Leslie at #6, Karen at #7, MJ at #8, Jeanette #9. Woo, it goes on. I'm not reading all of those. How many are there? God, that's all crazy. Take care, everybody. I'm going to put the phone down now. I'm going to put the phone down first. I am. Say goodbye. Say goodbye, Paul.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. I'm saying goodbye. I'm putting the phone down now. My finger is hovering. Bye for now. Bye.